Welcome back to all of my friends, my fans, and fellow FTFLers to the longest running weekly episodic fantasy football update show. Welcome back to the FTFL weekly update. And it is I, not just the host of this fine program you're partaking in, not just the owner of one of your league mates, the Hulkamaniacs. And I know you're probably at home watching going, what's going on? Like every now and again, my screen gets fuzzy, something goofy I can't quite see. Don't worry. Don't adjust anything. Most likely, it's just the glare from the gold draped across my shoulder because I don't need to remind you, but I am your league champion. That's right, it is Brett Sieber. Welcome back, boys and girls, to the update. 5 games in, 9 games to go. We're starting to see some trends take hold. People are really starting to get into the trenches here. And before long, we're probably going to start to see teams falling too far behind. After last week, we had one undefeated team and one completely defeated team. After this week, one team still yet to taste the sweet thrill of victory, while one team continues to taste the ass of all of his opponents. Hold up, wait. I mixed that up. In my mind, I think I wanted to say, hasn't tasted the sting of defeat, but then also I was going to say continues to kick his opponent. You know what? It came out wrong. I apologize. That's not what I meant to say. Eric is undefeated. Matt has yet to win a game. Now, Eric in the South, 5-0. Saltmarsh, 4-1. Peter, 1-4. Matt, 0-5. The South starts to stretch out. There's a 5-game discrepancy between first and last place in the South. In the North, however, first place is 3-2. Third place, 1-4. 2 games out. Again, a lot of season left to be had. Speaking of things to be had, lots and lots of time tonight spent in the mailbag. The mailbag is busting. People are writing in from all over the place. I don't know if that's because last week I was just off my game, maybe not my best episode ever, and they're looking to help out in any way possible. And if that's the case, I thank you very much. However, I think it's because people love the show so much and they just want to be a part of it, and I love having them be a part of it with me. Lastly, and I touched on it, one undefeated team, Eric. Holy crap, what a start this guy has. He is already in 5 weeks, north of 600 points. Remember, Saltmarsh last year didn't even score 1,000 points in 14 games. Eric's team is cruising. And yes, Josh Allen is a major factor on that team. But up and down the roster, dude is stacked. Could this finally be the year Eric goes deep into the playoffs? It's been a long time. I mean, Eric, if I were to check this trophy here that I currently hold, because I am the league champion. It says, Eric, last one, well, you're not in this column here. You've got to go back 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. 2009, 13 years ago. Not, however, the longest drought since the last champion. Of course, that belongs to Linkowitz, all the way back in 2001. Eric, torrid start. Let's get to the games, and we'll start with the undefeated Pack Attack coming into 4-0, taking on D's Nuts at 2-2. This was the biggest blowout of the week. That's right, Swart. You took the L, and you took it hard. 91 points. Hell of a score, but you ran up against the new, undisputed, reigning, defending league single game scoring record, 166.5 for Eric. My God. Josh Allen, 42. Travis, I only scored touchdowns. Kelsey, 27.5 points on a Monday night. Cooper Kupp, who Matt Stafford, I'm not entirely sure he even knows the names of the other receivers on his team, and I know Eric is fine with that. 21.5 for him. Derrick Henry, 21. Justin Tucker, 17. What the hell, Bram, I can't even read my damn notes. Someone named BRA something got 14. Wow, that's terrible. Mike Williams, 13. Tampa Bay, 10. The only player who didn't score in double digits, netted him a half point, Damian Harris. Tony Pollard. Had he played Tony Pollard, Eric would have scored 180 points. Holy crap, not entirely sure. Now, again, not a bad week for Swart. 25 for Fournette. That is the second, Second highest score for Fournette in the last 3 seasons, 25 for him. Metcalf, 16.5. Joe Burrow, 16. Allen Lazard, another touchdown, 10 points. Miles Sanders, who swore did attempt to trade Andy back and get Najee Harris in return. That was a trade we already saw. It was really weird. I saw the parameters. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that was Huff and Glue night in the Swart household. Not entirely sure. He falls to 2-3. Eric cruises to 5. And next up, Team Dead Horse take 3-1, taking on the Valhalla Vandals at 1-3. Sid continues to roll. Had that opening week loss to Eric, and he hasn't looked back since. Actually, it wasn't to Eric. I played Sid in week 1. He beat me. Maybe he lost to Eric in week 2. I don't remember. He has a loss, but only one. 133.5 for him. 60. Doubled up. More than doubled up did get Peter. For Sid, Austin Eckler, 26 points. Dallas's defense. Holy crap. No Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush is playing commendable, but that defense right now is on fire. Unlike the Green Bay Packers defense. Jesus, boys, let's pick it up. Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson both had 18 apiece. Carlson, 16. Mark Andrews, 14. If you're Peter, boy, Mahomes had 28. Run CMC, 15.5. And then there really wasn't much else. 7 players, 5 points or less. His bench lineup outscored his starters. That, my friends, makes you go, yeah, you know what's coming. All right, next game, the Mixing Cocktails coming in at 2-2, taking on the Hulkamaniacs at 1-3. Holy crap. I can't get a receiver healthy. I can't have a quarterback throw more than 1 touchdown a week. It has been a rough stretch. 72 for Andy, 45 for me. For Andy, 3 players acquired in a recent trades. Dalvin Cook, 21 points. Najee, 3.5. Jamar Chase, 5.5. Cook, against his former team, decided to bust out the whooping stick. Well, that's just dandy. Jalen Hurts also 20. For me, Alvin Kamara had 15 points. I, like Peter, had 7 players at 5 or below. T. Higgins, he played for a short little while, got 0 points. Jared Goff, who had been averaging over 22 points a game, he busted out a whopping 4 points. My running back situation continues to be suspect at best. Not because I have bad running backs. No. Aaron Jones, I would argue with anyone, is a better running back than Dalvin Cook. He's more explosive than Dalvin Cook. Whenever Aaron Jones touches the ball, I'm expecting he just might house it. The problem with Aaron Jones is his damn coach. Yeah, Matt LaFleur, you have been amazing throughout your first 3 seasons in this league. The greatest record ever composed by a coach in their first 3 seasons. You're missing a top-end wide receiver. Yet you have arguably the best running back tandem in all of football. You were up 17-3 on Sunday against the Giants. And you lost. In the second half, you refused to run the football. When the Giants got the score, it was 20-13, and we get the ball. What do? No, sorry. Maybe it was even 20-17. I don't remember. They went on a long drive. They scored points. We get the ball back. You're still up. What do? Do you run the ball? No. You pass it. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. 3 incompletions. You took 20 seconds off the clock, and your defense was gassed. And then, late in the game, 3rd and 2 from like the 3-yard line. You could have gotten a first down at the 1. 3rd and 2. You have AJ, the quad father, Dillon's back there. For crying out loud, run the damn ball. Yeah, you can see this one coming like a freight train down the tracks in the middle of the light. The lights are blinking, the bells are ding, 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 ding. Yeah, you want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because Matt LaFleur, you're screwing me. You're ruining my season. I'm 1-4, and I'm blaming you, Matt LaFleur. You, my friend, just made the list. Oh, all right. You know what? Let's get into some fan mail. Maybe that'll make me just a little bit happier. Again, as always, I'm appreciative when folks send in fan mail. I love it. Makes me happy. And let's just get into it here. We're going to pull this up. Let's go into the mailbox. All right. Fan mail number 1. All right. It says this. Actually, wait. That's not it either. Hold on. Actually, this one is from a fan. Well, they're all from fans of the show. Here we go. I just had to find it. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Remember, a no-budget studio, not a low-budget studio. All right, so here we go. says, Dear Mr. Host of the FTFL Update, huge fan of the show. Thanks for all your efforts since you like lists so much. You know, we do like lists. This one. In the past, we've been fan of lists. I have enclosed a list of the top 10 lowest points scored through 5 weeks. List starts in 2016 since we added flex and a half-point PPR. 3 of the top 5 are from this year. Yeah, it's been boom or bust, buddy. Boom or bust. Since you like talking past so much, I don't even know what he's getting at there. But anyways, my Browerville math probability. Wait, is this from Bart? Nope, doesn't say Bart. Shows not a good chance for those 3 to make the playoffs. I also included 11th spot since that was the year you made a huge deal of Andy's lack of title defense. Looks like number 1 on the list might be headed in that same direction. Something to keep track of. Sincerely, the Number Muncher. All right, Mr. Muncher, here we go. We'll read your list. Now, this is from lowest to highest. Number 1 on the list. Oh, oddly enough, is me, Brett, at 328, record of 1-4. Andy, number 2 on the list in 2017 at 331 through 5 games and a 1-4 record. Finished 6-7, missed the playoffs. Salty in 21, 331.5, 2-3. Of course, we all know Salty didn't score many points beyond that. Finished 4-10, no playoffs. 2 from the 22 category, Peter and Matt, 350, 351.5 respectively. We're going to wait to see if they can fight back and make the playoffs. 21 was John, 367, 2-3 at the time, 5-9 overall, no playoffs. 2019, yours truly, again, 370, 1-4 mark, 4-9 overall, didn't make the playoffs. 2018, Matt, 373, 1-4 at the time, 4-9 overall, didn't make the playoffs. John in 17, 373.5. Salty in 17, 386.5. Andy in 20, 446. All these teams below 500 at the 5-game mark. All these teams finishing below 500, and all of these teams missing the playoffs. This is an amazing list, but I don't know if anyone has interest in this, so I'm probably not going to post this. I do appreciate the letter. Thanks for sending that in. All right, now on to the rest of the fan mail. Here we go. It says, Dear Brett, I noticed the Pack Attack is on pace to have the greatest season in FTFL history. That is a true statement. I thought Adam Swartz's record-setting championship season where he went 13-1-1 would never be broken. Do you think Pack Attack can maintain this kind of dominance the rest of the season? Keep up the good work, Donald T. Wait, Donald T. There's no weird, goofy exclamation points at the end of sentences, so it's probably not him. Anyways, can he keep it up? I mean, Eric's roster, top to bottom, is stacked. You know, we've talked about Eric and Mark. You know, the first 3 weeks, they were both 3-0. Of course, Eric continues to win. Jeff has hit a bit of a road bump, or a speed bump, if you will. Jeff's team was Lamar Jackson and a bunch of other guys. Eric's team is a bunch of studs right now. Now, there is something to be said about blowing your wad early and not having anything to finish strong. That's happened. I think last year, Peter started 5-0 and limped into the playoffs. Still took 3rd place, nothing to sneeze at. I mean, he's not holding this beauty right here, but, you know, a hot start, you want that. You get to 6, probably 7 wins now in the 14-game season, you're going to the playoffs. So Eric is almost in the playoffs, but it only takes one bad game, and I can tell you, because in 2020, that was me. One bad game, opening round of the playoffs, done. Dominant season, and it didn't matter. I think he can keep it up, but as we've talked a lot, fantasy football is a lot of luck. And so good luck to Eric. And lastly, here we go. We'll get this one dialed up here. All right. So, Dear Brett, I'm new to your program since I just got YouTube access for good behavior at the Stillwater Correctional Facility. All right. Me and some inmates have been playing fantasy football for the past 20 years in here. Jesus, he's been in there for 20 plus years. And we can't figure out why your league seems to be so high on Cole Kmet. He was drafted by Dickweed in the 7th round, 67th overall in your 2022 draft. The guy's never gone over 50 total points this season. There's only one game above 10 points in his 3 seasons, and that was at 10.5 points only. He has only gone over 5 points in a game 6 times total in 3 years. With all this lack of production, he was still drafted ahead of guys like Dallas Goedert, TJ Hawkinson, Dawson Knox, and Zach Ertz. You even selected him for a playoff fantasy bracket in 2020. What's the deal? Also, who the hell are you talking to at the end of each episode? Your biggest fan, I didn't do it, inmate 077321. P.S. Please send nudes. All right. Well, you know what? First, we'll address the last. No. Cole Kmet. He has a terrible quarterback. Before this year, actually even last year, I think Nagy was still the coach last year, but maybe not. He's had bad coaches. From every expert you listen to talk about this guy, all the talent in the world, he can't throw the ball to himself. Only one man can do that, and that was, well, I suppose two men. Aaron Rodgers and then the infamous Brad Johnson touchdown pass, which the Vikings fans still talk about that baloney. I think he's a great player. I think he's just had a bad run. We'll see where it goes. You bring up a good point, but then again, hindsight is always 20/20 when we're doing these drafts. I mean, that's every single year. You can only do what you think is best at the time, and then you got to move on. And move on we will. Thank you all for the mailbag stuff. Again, send me your emails, call in, leave messages, whatever you want. Be a part of the show. We here at the FTFL Weekly Update, we love it. All right. Last couple games here, Mana, 4-time Lucky Pants, breaking and entering, stealing the title champ, Mana. Coming in at 3-1, taking on Team Dickweed at 1-3. And Markshire loses for the second straight week. Another low-scoring game in the North, 75.5 for John, 61 for Markshire. If you're John, the rookie Brees Hall blew up for 19. Barkley, 13.5. Justin Herbert, 10. Bills defense, 13. Chase Edmonds, in a free agent pickup in Miami. They went after him early. I think it was day 1 or day 2 in free agency, which made you think he was going to be the guy. He's not the guy. 0 points for him. Probably not going to see the field much this more, at least for Dickweed. If you're Markshire, boy, Markshire's Chubb continues to throttle everything that stands in front of it. My God, 24 points this week. What can't Markshire's Chubb do? Lamar Jackson could probably use a boost from Markshire's Chubb. Granted, he was trying, but Lamar Jackson, 10 points. Torrid start the first 2 weeks, completely fallen back to earth, and so has Markshire's team with him. 5 players at 5 and under for Markshire. Kenneth Walker III, 14 points on his bench. Rashad Penny, out for the year. I should have hit the sounder. Wet paper sack alert! That's right. That dude, lots of talent, hasn't been able to stay healthy. I don't see Markshire playing Kenneth Walker III. I think he's going to be a rookie keeper, but it will be interesting to watch that boy run in Seattle as the season goes on. Speaking of running, a pair of running backs that haven't done much. Jacksonville came out the gates hot. Brought James and his hot tub full of women. Robinson was the best running back after 3 weeks in our league. Kind of fallen off as of late. Three points for him this week. His teammate, 7.5 points. So an updated stat list has James Robinson at 52 and Travis the Bozo Etienne at 23.5. Neither played for Markshire this week. Probably a good idea. Whether or not they play going forward, we'll have to see. Markshire falls to 3-2. Dickweed rises to 2-3. And lastly, the Radioactive Monkeys, who last week set a franchise record for points, came in at 3-1, taking on the team who was just looking for any scrap of hope. Maybe eke out a victory and get off the schneid. Didn't happen. The architect at 0-4 will fall, as we talked earlier, to 0-5. The Monkeys, 167 for Matt. If you are the Radioactive Monkeys, Josh Jacobs, holy crap. There was talk before the season started that Josh Jacobs wasn't even going to be on the field all that much, and now they can't get him off the field. 20.5 points for him. Stephon Diggs, of course, Josh Allen. That offense right now is on fire. 16 for him. Murray with 12. Kyler, stupid face Murray with 12 points. 49ers defense, 19. McManus, 11. Jamal Williams, the Detroit offense, number 1 in the league, laid a complete goose egg this week. Got 4 points. Jamal, 2. He was averaging over 15 plus. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 3.5 points. He was averaging over 13 plus. Even with those 2 running backs scoring 5.5 points combined, it didn't matter. Salty scored 100 points. And right now, everything is going back.
Welcome, FTFLers, to the Fantasy Graveyard. I'm the Fantasy Reaper. I hold all of your fates in my hand. During the fantasy football season, all shall have a fantasy death except for one. I hold your fates. When I reveal the name on the plaque on the graveyard, your fantasy fate is sealed, and you have no hope of winning a fantasy championship. There have been many worthy teams this week, on my list to seal their fate and no championships. But one has stood out among the rest. There have been 3 teams who are on pace to score less than 1,000 points on the season. But the one team I have chosen has failed to score at least 80 in any of the weeks. The building blocks are tumbling for this team, and there is no hope of rebuilding them. Not even for this team. Come now into the fantasy graveyard, and I shall reveal whose fate has been sealed, and no fantasy championship for them. Oh, the buzzsaw. Yes, my favorite. I love that one. Oh, I think we might be getting close to who this is. Oh, yes. Come with me now. Come and see whose fate has been sealed. Yes, I think you know. The architect is no more. Better luck next year.
Whoa! The feed was just cut. I'm not entirely sure what happened. I mean, I suppose I'll learn more when I go back and watch it. I'm sorry, it looks like we're back now. All right, here we go. If you're Matt, 67 points, led by Devontae Shovin, Cameraman Adams, 29.5 points. Tom Brady, 14. Graham Gano, 11. 5 at 5 or under. Christian Kirk, again, part of that Jacksonville offense. Lawrence, Robinson, Kirk, they were all just busting out the gates. They have all fallen way back. Half point for him. He has been averaging 11 plus on the season. All right, the stud, the dud, and the cringy. We're going to get out of here. Josh Allen, 42 points. Eric's whole team, minus, of course, Damian Harris. The studs this week, my God. I mean, it's unstoppable right now as we go. Dud of the week, the Hulkamaniac. Second time this year in 5 weeks. Things are not looking great. The cringy for this week. Peter, all the players on his bench, definitely cringy worthy, although that was a 1 week type thing, and those things come and go, and you just have to deal with it. The other cringy this week, Dalvin Cook, Gabe Davis combined for 50-some points. Aaron Jones and Amon-Ra St. Brown combined for less than 10. Yep, I traded those 2 players away to get the other 2 players. Again, not my fault, Matt LaFleur, but boy, that trade not looking good this week. We'll see where it goes from here. All right, as we head into week 6, here are the matchups, and there is a big one in the South. Pack Attack coming in at 5-0, taking on the Radioactive Monkeys at 4-1. Eric wins. He puts a 2-game lead on second place. Salty wins. All of a sudden, there's a tie, and we got ourselves a ball game. Manat, 4-time Lucky Pants, breaking and entering, stealing title championships. Champ Manat coming in at 3-2, taking on the Mixing Cocktails at 3-2. A first place battle in the North, might I add. Team Dead Horse coming in at 4-1, taking on the Hulkamaniacs. We already played once. He beat me. However, if you remember, I beat him when it mattered most. And we'll never forget that. D's Nuts coming in at 2-3, taking on Dickweed at 2-3. The battle for second place and or third, depending on how the game above them shakes out. And lastly, the Valhalla Vandals in the Cellar Bowl, taking on the Architect. 0-5 for Matt, 1-4 for Peter. Not great for either. Peter gets a win. He's at least the fire is still burning. Matt gets a loss. That could be it for him. I can't imagine consequences and repercussions are not far behind if that is the case. And with that, we're going to wrap up the show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll check y'all out next week. Until then, peace! Dude, what happened? I mean, unbelievable. There was zero reason for that. You slept in? What do you mean you slept in? Well, you got to the game and it was already over. How did that even happen? Yes, of course it was 6 hours ahead of when it normally would have been. You were in London. It's not the same time everywhere. God, that was the perfect game. It would have. We didn't even score that many points against us. Like, if you get in and do what you're supposed to do, we walk away with that victory. Instead, we're 1-4. We're 1-4. God. You know what? I'll call you back later.